a sip first. Let me get this out of the way. Alright. I'm Turk maxing, so I forgot to shave my unibrow today, so don't say shit about that. But, chest day.
Chest day? What? You do push. You copying?
I want to try out moving out my rest days. So, partially because it's summer, I have the time, and I like putting out the content. I think it's beneficial to, you know, keep putting out content. Like, yeah, I could do the baking content on my rest days, but I like this a little bit better. Anyways, so I'm trying out the chest, back, arms, legs split. Because I was looking at a comparison of a bunch, and timing-wise, I like that the best. The only thing I don't like about it is you kind of have to do all your legs all at once, and I usually do a quad or a posterior focus day, and I have 2 a week, so once each. But we'll see how we feel about that when we get to the first whole leg day. The other thing I'm thinking about is maybe like a push-pull legs. But I like having a mostly armed focus day like I have for my upper day, especially because I need to bring up my arms. But there's only one question. What time is it? There's only one question on the questionnaire on Instagram. Somebody asked, is my physique naturally attainable? If you're asking if you can do it, I have no clue. It's a really pointless question, and I'm not gonna like solo out the person that asked it or like bash on him, because it's like one of the most commonly asked questions that people get. But without going into a whole spiel, the reason why it's pointless is because everybody's different. Like, what I could do naturally or on a little bit of gear or on all of the gear is going to be so differently acquainted, or such a different amount of progress than what one person might be able to do versus another. Like, you're gonna have somebody that can get here using 5 grams of gear a week, and you're gonna also have people that can get there naturally, and then you're gonna have people that can get here naturally, and you're gonna have people that can't even get to here with like grams a week. Everybody's different. There's so many variables that go into it. The only way to answer, if you're sitting there looking at somebody's physique and you want to know if you can obtain that, is to just try. Like, for example, there's no amount of melanotan 2 that I can take to be black. Maybe there is. I don't know. There's no amount of growth hormone that I can take to be Shaquille O'Neal's height. Like, stop. Like, I get it. People want to look like people, but you can only be the best you, as corny as that sounds. Anyways, I said I wasn't going to spiel. What else is there to talk about? Something I've been like, just like, ooh, Turk Max is coming in. Ooh, it's getting thick. It's getting quite thick. Turk Maxing. Anyways, yeah, the thing I want to talk about, like transparency in the fitness industry, and how it's like a double-edged sword. Obviously, there's the, you know, for the obvious reasons, it's beneficial because now you have people being more transparent, more open, giving like a more realistic, you know, whatever. You don't have as many people like sitting there saying, yeah, I take nothing, and if you want to look like me, just buy this product that I make commission off of. And so with the transparency, people are a little, you know, obviously a bit easier to use their own judgment and realize, that guy's probably lying just to try and make money, as opposed to buying the product, you know, hoping that it'll help. But on the other hand, you now have, you know, kids being exposed to drugs that they wouldn't have probably been exposed to as easily or as early as they are now. And when I talk about this, I'm not talking about anybody specific, because I've had multiple people ask me or DM me stuff about this, like teenagers. And a way that I've explained it to a few people is, I'm like, one of the negative things of it is, like I was saying, you have people being exposed to it earlier than they should, and more than likely they're being exposed to it in a kind of a biased way. Like, for example, you might have somebody come on here and be like, oh, I'm taking this much of this and this much of this, and they might not even mention the side effects, the risks. They might not even mention any of the supporting supplements, vitamins, ancillaries, whatever, that they're taking to take care of all their health markers. And so, you know, it's dangerous because you have these 17, 16, 15, 18-year-olds that have their TikTok feed filled with, you know, juiced up guys. And they want to look like this person. They want to look like it now. And they hear that one of their influencers that they like is taking this much of this and this much of this, and they're like, oh, I'll just find a website, buy it, and then start taking that. And one, dumb for so many reasons. Like, for example, it could be a 250-pound guy taking X amount of milligrams, and then a 140-pound kid being like, oh, I'll just take the same. Not how that works. But, so yeah, there's dangers to it, and you know, there's going to be kids that'll watch this and be like, oh yeah, like, I know what I'm talking about. And a good way that I explained it to somebody is, I'm like, there's a reason that, you know, high schoolers aren't old enough to vote, because, you know, if you went back to 17, like, I'm glad 17-year-old me didn't know about this stuff, because he probably would have wanted to. Because yeah, like, I can think of probably, if I sat here long enough, I could probably think of a bunch of examples of times that I was told not to do something as a teenager, thought I knew better, and did it anyways, and learned the hard way. That's because most teenagers, you know, there's a reason you can't vote, because you're young, you're immature. It's what kids do. It's what I was. I was like it to an extreme example, sadly. But anyways, we're at the gym. That's my spiel, I guess. Basically, too long, didn't read. If you're thinking about taking stuff, please don't. If you think you know better, please DM me. I'll explain to you why you don't. And I'll explain in a nice, educational, informational way, not in a just a you don't know better and I know better just because, and that's it. Like, that stuff will mess you up. Like there's a big difference between knowing what you're doing and not knowing what you're doing, blah, 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 and, you know, taking big cycles versus little cycles and blah, 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 blah. But there's no question, if you take this stuff as a teenager in puberty, there's a good chance that you like, forget about the physical, you know, hormonal and issues of like, oh, I need TRT for like my sex drive and like muscle mass later in life. Like, no, you could be depressed. Do a little bit of research into how hormones affect your mood and your emotions. Like, anyways, if you actually want to learn, DM me. Cool, perfect timing. Just leave it. All right, we're gonna go hit some chest. I'll see you guys in there.
What the fuck?
Can you help me just on the first? Yeah, go ahead. Okay. Again. Oh God. One. Okay. Teeth are feeling good. And then probably like 2 to 5 assisted. How many you think?
How many assisted?
Like by myself.
I don't know. That's many.
True. It's nice having a number sometimes. Okay. I was yapping earlier before one of my sets on the Smith before the last set. The camera wasn't recording the whole time, so I feel a little silly about that. But I was basically talking about plans for the rest of the lift. Obviously, we got Smith bench out of the way. Now we're hitting some decline. Because I feel like upper chest, front delt, it's a little fried. This almost gives them a break. I think I gotta adjust the seat. But I hit some of this, hit the converging press, because I don't really get to do that machine a lot. And we have a new one here. It's kind of nice. Gets a nice stretch. So see how that's feeling. And you know, if these two movements feel good, this and converging, probably finish off with some back deck. A tip that I like to give people, well, not give people, but if anybody's asking, if you feel your shoulders like super crunchy, or you just feel like you're like fucking yourself in the shoulder joint when you're doing decline press, it might be hard to kind of, you know, verbalize, but I like to think of it almost kind of how like when, you know, powerlifters are deadlifting, they say that, you know, pack your back down, pack your lats, you know, almost reverse shrug, keep those shoulders, you know, pressed down and packed, intense. I think the same thing, because I find that a lot of people, when doing this, you know, when they get back trying to get into that stretch, they just kind of like start shrugging their elbows and shoulders up, and it just gets all jammed up in your shoulder joint. And so I just try and force my shoulders to stay down so that when I'm getting that depth, you don't let them start riding up, and you still get the stretch, but without all the, you know, shitty joint feeling. Oh, wow. Definitely tired. Ooh. Haven't hit the Smith like that in like forever, so it feels good. But this usually moves a wee bit nicer, but hey man, there's always room for progress. I figured I would put the ego away, take a plate off. It's like too light almost. I guess I'll do a rest pause. You want to add some weight? Like just push? All right, get me to fail within 10. So like not like a stupid amount, but Another 5 to 10 more. Thanks. That was probably like, God, my music's way too loud. That was probably top tier content for them. For that last minute, just you standing. All right. I just filmed after I was switching my shirt. A little pump check to send to my coach for an update. But no fucking way am I gonna put that in the video because Sam does those. And God forbid I do some shit he does. But this is like it's not even called a convergent press. It's what brand is this? Yeah, Hammer Strength. They call it the isolateral wide chest. It's like, it's awkward, but like good at the same time. It's really awkward to like set up and, is there a belt? Can't remember. No belt. Didn't think so. Like, it's like super fucking deep and wide when you start, but like that feels good. I can never decide. I'm busy being on my phone in between my sets because I'm a dumbass. There's some kid in the like an Instagram comment section. What's that? Oh, I don't know if anybody got his inhaler. There's some kid in some Instagram comment section. There was a post that said it was like a jacked guy getting outclassed by like a wrestler or a BJJ guy, and the like label of the post was bodybuilders are gonna be pissed when they see this or something like that. And I just comment, MMA kids try not to hate other sports, challenge impossible. And there's there's a guy in there responding that's just completely missing the like, I think he thought that I was trying to say that MMA isn't a different sport or something. I don't know. Or Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu isn't a different sport than MMA. Regardless. But he's like sitting there, he just keeps commenting. He's like, you would get your ass kicked by a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu guy. You would get your ass kicked by an MMA guy. How does it feel? And I just responded. I was just like, I just said to him, I was like, okay, you're right. Do you feel better? Like, I don't know. That's weird. It's weird. People online confuse me sometimes. They don't confuse me all that much. Like, I get it. Like, from a like, if I were to sit here and, use my knowledge of psychology and, like, break it down, I think it makes sense. It's still dumb. Like, you'll never see me in a comment section, like, saying to somebody, how does it feel? How does it feel? I look better than you. I'm better at this. I'm better at this. Like, okay. Like, all right. It's always private accounts, and like more often than not, it's probably like young kids. Just, anyways, whatever. Let's hit a fucking set. Enough. Ugh. Damn it, my music. Oh shit, dude, my left pec's like cramping.
I need some electrolytes.
All right, I don't know how well you guys can see this, but you'll see it when they fall out. You'll see what I'm talking about. Today I'm using fat grips. My training partner Ryan gave them to me because I couldn't find any clips to put there. But a machine like this, especially, but in general, if you have a machine where you feel like the starting point is just kind of like really awkward to the range of motion, like for this is, I really like this machine. But the start is just so far back. Once you get into it, it's great. But the start's so far back that it's almost difficult to not have somebody help you on the first one. So what I did was I lifted this up And in between, you know, the little bump stop, threw a fat grip in there. I did it on each side. That way, the starting position is a little bit farther forward. So look, it's a little easier to get into, as opposed to when I was like fucking reaching back on the last set or two that you guys saw. And then once you go and do your first rep, you'll see these will fall out. And then you have that full range of motion to work with if you so choose. Not happy with that set. I think we'll do one more. All right, let's finish up our carbs. I hit went down the wrong pipe. I hit a body weight PR. Well, not PR, I guess, but for this portion of the bulk, this morning fasted post poop, sitting in the 230s. So that's nice. That's post poo and post pee. So that's like about as fasted as you can get. I woke up, I weighed myself, but I had to, what did I have to do? Oh, I had to go take my L-carnitine, because I have to take it like 30 minutes before my cardio. So I weighed myself real quick, got the number. Oh, there's not a belt. I keep thinking there's a belt. Quickly went into the kitchen. My music's too loud. Quickly went into the kitchen, took my L-carnitine, drank my water with it. But, wait, no. Yeah. I had to poop. So I weighed myself, poop in me. Then I went to the, so I had that number, the original number. I went, took my L-carnitine, my morning supplements, blah, blah, blah. Drank my water, so now I'm a little heavier. Went and re-weighed myself. And then I went and pooped. And then I weighed myself a third time. So I took the difference between that second and that third weigh-in, found out, okay, that's the amount of weight lost from that bathroom break right there. And I took that off my first weigh-in. It was like a 10-minute time window, so I'm not like exhaling, you know, any significant amount of weight during that time. But that's how you do the math, guys. My coach texted me, what did he say? Is he proud of me? Keep ticking the boxes. Dakota, you're activating my praise kink. Ryan's shaking his head at me. All right, you guys see him in the, you probably can't see him in the mirror. All right, last set. Yeah. All right, like 2 more sets, I think. I'm not gonna lie, these are feeling like right on the verge of like junk volume. But I did say I was gonna do another 2 sets, I think so. But yeah. I had to poop at some point, so it's like where like you get a good pump, you get going, and then you start like fatiguing yourself, but it's like whatever, you gotta pump. But if you lose that pump, once you hit that fatigue point, good luck. So anyways, I gotta really make sure my poop schedule doesn't line up with this. Alright, fuck it. We'll just raw dog this set. No music. You're good. I don't care. Unless if you want, I can move it if you don't want to be in it. Let's, yeah. No, that's just junk. Hold on. That's just junk. All right. I think it's safe to say the chest is fried. All right, I'm hungry. I'll see you guys in the car. All right, let's turn that AC down so it's not too loud. Maybe not down that much. All right. Good chest day. Very different than like, ooh. Very different than what I'm used to. Because I'm not used to just training one thing. So it was different, but it was definitely nice. Definitely nice. Definitely feel like I finished off my chest to a degree that I might not always get. But I also feel like at times I was like feeling weird because I'm like, oh, I feel like I'm like not doing enough because I'm only doing my chest. So, but good lift. Completely blanking on what I was going to talk about. Yeah, the boobs were boobing, the chest was chesting. It was when I was changing my shirt. I took a video to send to my coach for like check-ins to help. And I was like looking in the mirror and I'm like, ooh, like, you know when you got like a good pump like on your chest and like you have that nice like you can see it like hanging down, but like in a perky way, if that makes sense, because it's just like it's like full of blood. So that felt good. There's a cop behind me. Let him pass if he wants to. I feel like there was something I was gonna. Was there another thing that I was like mentioning about talking about? Oh yeah, there was another question on the thing. Somebody asked. What did they ask? They asked how to build bigger quads. I mean, without getting like super, nuanced into it and like super complicated. When you're doing squatting movements, use full range. So squat to depth, obviously. Don't do half squats. Don't do shit range of motion. Because, one, you look silly. But more importantly, is this a cop? Oh, it's the cop from the gym. We're chilling. He's fine. I could probably speed with him. I'm not going to. Anyways, but more importantly than looking silly, you're going to... I should try and get him to pull me over, and then when he pulls me over, it's like, hey, come on, man. Anyways, yeah, more importantly than looking silly, you're missing out on, like, growth. Because, the the simplest way to talk about hypertrophy is, obviously tension on the muscle, and then ideally the more, range of motion you can get into that muscle, the better. So if you're only squatting halfway down, there's so much more room to stretch that quad and then, make it grow. Can't even see that's me. My windows are tinted, but anyways, yeah. So squat to depth, use full range of motion. If you struggle with that, work on your mobility. Train intensely. I personally, and there's going to be a lot of different opinions about this, and none of them are necessarily wrong, because in a way you have to find what works best for you. I personally don't like free bar squatting. I personally find that when I do it, my core or my stability or whatever you want to call it, I'm going to fatigue that, that form, that technique before I really get good, fatigue and work into my quadriceps. So that's why I like doing, more stable movements, Smith squat, hack squat, pendulum squat, etc. Whereas some people really like doing the free bar squat. And, if you want to sit here and be a science guy, yeah, like technically the free bar squat is not as efficient or ideal, but if you enjoy the free bar squat drastically more than like a hack squat, and therefore you're able to train it harder and more intensely and to a greater degree, then for you, you're going to probably grow better off of it. So yeah, I mean, in its simplest, the two main things to grow quads, but really any muscle, work through as great of a range of motion as you can and train as intensely as you can. Don't just go in there and do your 3x15 half-assed and get a pump and then leave. Like, obviously you're going to get a pump, but your goal shouldn't just be like, I like to call it like, lifting before you go to the beach or lifting before you go to a pool party. Like, oh, I'm not really getting a full workout. I'm just like, I mean, everybody's done it. I feel like you're about to go to the pool and there's gonna be girls there, or maybe you're about to go to the beach or whatever. Senior week, you're like, oh, let me go hit a quick, few sets of bicep curls, get a nice pump, so I feel good. But when you're at when you're at the gym, you should be training a little bit harder than just, hey, let me try and get a pump. You should be training with the intent of, hey, I'm trying to grow, and with that, you're going to get a pump. But yeah, but back to the point about like what works, the optimal stuff. Everybody's different. I think Ryan and I were actually, his name's Ryan, the guy in the car. He's sitting quietly and patiently. He doesn't have a talking line in this episode, but anyways, I think we were talking earlier about, like, I don't remember what the question was, but people talking about like how different things are going to work better for different people, and like in a sport, especially like bodybuilding, when it can be so individually based, like I'll have people message me and be like, what split should I do, or this or that. I think the main talking point that we had about it is like, I'll have a lot of people like message me and say like, oh, what muscle group do you think I should bring up? And it'll maybe be like a 17-year-old kid, and it's like, oh, he's actually like super proportional. And you're probably not going to hear this, but just bring everything up. Like, you just keep bring up your age, keep growing, keep being patient, keep being consistent. But with that, we were talking about like how like so many people think that like, oh, maybe I have to bring up my arms, maybe I have to bring up my legs. It's like, with that said, everybody's different. And so when I have people message me and ask stuff like, hey, what split should I do? What works for somebody might not work for another person. Like, one of the things that I liked about the split that I was running for the longest time, the push-pull legs, rest, upper-lower, rest, is, it allowed me to have 2 rest days during the school week. And since it was a 7-day split, you push, pull, legs, rest, upper, lower, rest. All of your days fall on the same day of the week. So, I can line it up so that, last semester, Monday and Thursday were pretty heavy workloads for me for school. So, as opposed to somebody doing a push-pull legs rest, because it's a 6-day rotation technically, you know, push, pull, legs, rest, push, pull, legs, rest. You're going to slowly have that rest day shift throughout the actual day of the week. Whereas what I was doing, I would always have them fall on the same day of the week. So for me, I really like that because in this context, my work schedule or my schoolwork schedule worked well for that split. And you know, there's always going to be different reasons that you might have to or want to change up your split. Maybe you need to bring up your arms. And that was the reason why I initially brought in an upper day, because that's my biased, my arm bias day, because I needed to bring up my arms. Whereas somebody might not need to bring up their arms. I remember for a while I was hitting legs. I don't even remember what the split was, but I was hitting them I think like 3 times a week. I think it might have been push legs, pull legs, because I really needed to bring up my legs. Yeah, don't like look or anything. That's Wyland's girlfriend. I think she's just correcting her parking. But yeah, for the longest time, I'll censor her out. For the longest time, I needed to bring up my legs. That was the split that I was running. And obviously that split's not going to be ideal or even necessary for the majority of people. Anyways, we're home. This has been 9 minutes. Wow, I can yap. All right, that's it. If you guys have any questions, DM me. This post will be up Friday evening, if not earlier. Anyways, good lift. I will see you guys.